Hey everyone, Tom Mobile back again. Here's my final review of the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold. So I've been using this phone for a few weeks now, and I'll let you know by the end of the video if it is worth spending $2,000 on this phone after taxes. I'm going to hit on design, battery life, performance, and whether or not this is going to be the right phone for you. So I got 8 categories. In total, each one I'm going to rank them from 1 to 5. I will tally everything up to one final grade by the end of the video. First category I have is cool factor and design. I give this phone a 4 out of 5. It is lighter and thinner compared to last year, which is a great improvement. And once you open it up, it's actually a larger tablet compared to last year. To be honest, I don't really notice that much of a difference, but on paper, it is technically larger. So it's great for on the go, be applying for jobs in the car like I am. It definitely does help. While my son is sleeping, I'm just cranking away, and having that on the go tablet in my pocket is pretty useful. Ideally, I would prefer to do it on a laptop, but if that's not available, and this is the next best thing. So it's nice to have the larger screen, whether you're playing games, watching YouTube. It is a pretty convenient thing to have, and it is the main reason why you want to get a folding phone in the first place if you want a tablet on the go without actually carrying another physical tablet with you. Some of the downside with this phone is the front screen is actually bigger and longer compared to last year, which is fine. If you're using it while it's closed, it just feels like a regular phone, similar size as my Galaxy S24. But last year, I liked the Passport design because it is a shorter form factor, about 5.9 inches. This year, it is 6.3 or so. And overall, the phone is bigger once you fold it up, but it doesn't make it hard to use or anything like that. Once you do open up the phone, there is a big crease in the middle, as you can see right here. And this is one of the biggest drawbacks of all folding phones. They all have some type of crease one way or the other. I find that OnePlus does the best job at minimizing the crease. Google, Samsung on the other hand still have a lot of catch up to do. And one of the biggest benefits of having a folding phone is you can dock it anywhere to record videos, but I find that I prefer to use a tripod instead, because if you just dock it on the table, then you tilt the camera up, it is kind of a weird camera angle. So it's nice if it's on the go, if you don't have a tripod, but if you're at home and you already have your setup, it's easier just to slap it on the mount versus trying to use the docking mode. And before jumping to the next category, just want to give a quick shout out to my partner Mint Mobile. Currently they offer a 5G plan for as low as $15 a month. You do have to buy 3 months up front. You get access to unlimited data, talk, and text. Overall, it is a great deal, so make sure to check them out. Link in the description below. Next category I have is battery. I give this phone a 4 out of 5. Overall, it's actually pretty good. In general, when I'm using it, it does not give me battery anxiety, so that is how I gauge a phone or whether or not it's a good battery life. When I had the Google Pixel 7 in the past, that phone have always given me battery anxiety. I know it's not going to make it through the day. I would always need to carry a charger with me or plug it in every single chance that I get. But with the Pixel Fold, I know it's going to last me from morning to night. So I get about 20 hours of battery life on this phone. If I start my day bright and early, by the time I go to bed, I just plug it in, which I don't mind. I know there are phones like the OnePlus 12R that's going to last 36 hours, which is nice to have anything beyond the 24 hours. But at the end of the day, I don't mind charging it at the end of the night versus having to charge it midway through the next day. So it is not a battery champ going past 24 hours or anything like that. But overall, my expectations are pretty low, so I feel like the battery performance actually exceeded them. Third category I have is customizations and features. I give this phone a 4 out of 5. It lacks some of the features that you would see on the Galaxy Z Fold 6, like the desktop mode. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I don't really use desktop mode, but it's nice to have. And it does not have any dust resistance, so it's rated IPX8, so it's okay to use in the rain or the pool, but anywhere near dust. And absolutely do not bring this phone to the beach. Sand is a kryptonite for all folding phones. My Moto Razr Plus was destroyed this way just because it's not built to last that way. So even you get a single grain of sand on the phone and you accidentally close the screen, it's going to create a black dot and it will be an absolute nightmare for you. So still a lot of compromises with folding phone compared to just a regular slap phone where you wouldn't even need to think about that. And with Google Pixel phones and any phones these days, you're going to hear about AI. Everyone's selling their own AI suite, whether it's Google, Samsung, Apple. I personally just ignore it. I don't find a lot of things to be that useful. The things that I do find to be useful, you can use it on the web or just download an app like ChatGPT. I use that to organize my notes and do a lot of creative writings, but you do not need to rely on the the phone's specific AI, but there's a whole bunch of them out there if you want to test them out. None personally really pique my interest or I find to be that useful. Next category I have is camera. I have a 4 out of 5 for this category. Overall, the main camera is solid. Even the 5x zoom is really impressive when I'm taking pictures. If it's dark and grainy and inside with poor lighting and I snap the picture, after the processing finishes, it actually tends to look better than the preview, which is nice to see. So pretty happy with the camera there. If you're just doing point and shoot, taking casual photos here and there, it would do a great job. Some of the downside of the camera though is I don't think it's as smart as Samsung phone. When I use a Samsung phone, I plug it in the mic, I hit record, then it's going to record using the mic. On Pixel phone, I have to plug in the mic and then go into the setting and select that I'm using the mic. I think that makes no sense if I'm plugging it in. Of course, I want to use it. Sometimes you might miss that extra step and end up not using the mic at all, which happened to me a few times. So little things like that makes me annoyed and it's just extra work. There's no portrait video mode on Pixel phone, surprisingly. On Samsung phone right now, I'm using my Galaxy S24 to record this video. I got the video portrait mode on in the background. I think it looks cooler. So on Pixel phone, you have the portrait mode when taking photos, but it's just not available for video. And it lacks all the fun features that Samsung have. I like the single take option where you record a 10 to 50 second burst and then it'll generate you a bunch of different clips, video. It even throws in music for you. So if you ever go somewhere, you see something cool, you can't decide if you want to take a picture or a video, you can just do single take and then it'll generate you a whole bunch of things which you may or may not like, but makes it easy and less thought go into it if you really don't know what to do. And updates on this phone is easy 5 out of 5. Google started giving 7 years of software updates since the Pixel 8 and they're keeping the same trend and I think it's nice to see. Since hardware year to year, you're not going to see that much of an improvement anymore. And even all the software features that get announced with all the big companies these days, you don't even get them up front. They promise them at a later time. So now 7 years of software updates, you're going to eventually get a lot of the features on these newer phones. Some may take longer, but at least you know you spend $1,800 on this phone. After taxes, it'll be close to $2,000. It will last you for 7 years, assuming you can keep this phone out of the beach and sand and don't break it before then. Next category I have is ease of use. I give this a 4 out of 5. Overall, it just feels, when it is closed up, it feels like a normal slab phone. It is lighter compared to last year, but it still has some heft to it. When I hold this phone and I go back and I hold my Galaxy S24, the S24 just feels like a feather. I mean, this thing on a day-to-day basis, there's some weight to it. If it's closed up, I can use like a normal phone, which is fine. If I want to use it in tablet mode, I just open it up. So kind of the best of both worlds. In the early days of Samsung folding phone, they made it so thin that you feel obligated to open it up every single time. But with this phone, I don't feel that way. It just feels natural to use it whether it's closed or open, which is a nice touch. Next category I have is performance. I give this a 3 out of 5. Overall, pros, there's no overheating with this phone, which is nice. But there are a lot of weird quirks that I've seen over the few weeks of using this phone. There's definitely room for improvement. Battery life could be a little bit better if the processor in general, if it's usually more efficient. I find the battery life will last over 24 hours. This one is still 20 hours, which isn't bad by any means. I did witness a few hiccups here and there. It freezes occasionally, sometimes watching a YouTube video, and then it's random restart. A lot of these weird bugs, I'm not able to replicate it a second time, but it did happen often enough that I do want to point it out. Android Auto, which is randomly disconnected occasionally for no reasons, which is frustrating if I'm driving and then I have to restart my phone midway through the drive. Then once you restart a phone, you can't just unlock it with your fingerprint. You need to actually enter in your password. So if you're driving, you gotta like pull over. Just a lot of extra steps. And it is not a really smooth experience for a $2,000 phone. You expect everything to be flawless or close to it. There are little weird bugs here and there. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be hammered out with software tweaks in the future. But for now, there's still a lot of room for improvement for a phone that is this expensive. So speaking of price, next category I have is value. I give this phone a 3 out of 5. It is a little bit cheaper than Samsung. Samsung starts at $1,900. This phone is $1,800. But overall, it's still pretty pricey. I wouldn't pay $2,000 for this phone. After taxes and accessories and everything else you need to buy, there's no charging brick included, unlike the OnePlus Open. So it's better to wait for a sale. Never buy these phones when they first release. Just wait a couple months and you will save a little bit of money. I can see this phone going down to $1,500 or $1,600 easily. But overall, it's not much of a change compared to last year. It's a newer chip. You get a new color. color, you get some new AI tricks. The crease is still there and it's ugly, but it's an incremental upgrade, and every company is really doing it these days. There's really nothing groundbreaking about this phone. So the final grade I have is 31 out of 40, which is a solid C+. It is for Pixel enthusiasts, early adopters. A lot of the features are cool if you want to use all the Gemini AI stuff that I have in there, but it's just a fine upgrade, but it's not a must buy by any means unless you find it on sale. So there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Pixel 9 Pro. Do you have any questions, comments? Leave them below. Appreciate the time as always, and see you guys in the next video.